Well, I'm glad you had fun at Petco. Carrie had like a little bit too much sangria last night and then went to Petco and came back with this. All right, Sergeant Pito, you gotta go now. We gotta go unbox this new computer we got here. The real reason why we are here is because of this thing. This is an Asus Mini PC. This is part of the ProArt series, so I actually have a ProArt monitor, and they're specifically designed for designers and creatives, and right down my alley. I've been a Mac guy for over 10 years, but I thought about it a little bit, and the main reasons why I originally switched to Mac in the first place no longer really exists. I originally had to make the switch because when I first got in the game, everybody was using Final Cut Pro, and that was only available on Macs. But now that I'm totally Adobe based and with all the available cross compatibility, there's no real reason I have to be purely Mac based. So I thought maybe I'll give it a shot. I keep hearing everybody say you're gonna get a whole lot more bang for the buck, a whole lot more performance for the price if you go PC, and this kind of seems like the perfect candidate to get myself back into the Windows space, so let's check it out. Jonathan, I need your help. I can't do this with one hand. Oh, look at that. That's looking pretty nice. What I'm expecting is for this to be kind of like the Mac Pro, the Apple's trash can, but I'm hoping it's gonna be more flexible and upgradable. It's not gonna be cheap, but it's also not gonna be a fortune. Not gonna lie, a lot of the specs I keep hearing about going straight over my head. I do love that this isn't an entire tower though. I do like how it's relatively compact. Shout out to Asus for sponsoring this video and sending this out to me. Let's put it through some speed tests. So let's start this off by looking at what I've been working with, which is this MacBook Pro and this Asus ProArt monitor. So I bought it back in January and I paid $34.98 for this thing. But the thing that bugs me is that right before this, I had also a very powerful MacBook Pro, but the only reason why I had to get this one was because the monitor went out on it. One night it was late and I was wrapping things up, so I unplugged the power cable, it plopped out and then landed back on here, which I didn't see. I tried to close the monitor, broke the screen. I tried to see if I could just repair it myself. It's like, no. And I called the local shops and everyone was like, dude, for this model, you gotta send it back to Apple and it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. I ended up coughing up another $3,500 to get this, and Sam's using the one with the broken monitor right now, but he just has it plugged into an external monitor. But I need something that's portable, so that's why I ended up getting this MacBook. And the ideal situation to me has always been to have a laptop so I can do work on the go, and I like to travel and stuff, but I also want one super powerful computer that's a desktop, because you're gonna get a lot more performance out of something that isn't designed to be super compact like this. Now here's the specs for this laptop, which is pretty powerful, but just when it comes to the higher end stuff, like especially if I'm shooting on 5K red footage or even C-Log on this camera a little bit, it starts to stutter and everything just takes a little bit longer. But the thing is, I don't really want to get a desktop unless it's powerful. I don't want to get a computer that's slightly better than this MacBook. I would really need to go into the iMac Pro series, which starts like 5,000s, and you could easily spend 10,000 or 13,000, and everyone was just like, man, just go PC. You're gonna get a lot more performance for the buck. Then I visited Microsoft like 2 months ago and they've just kind of updated me on what they've been working on. So as we left Microsoft, I was like, maybe this is actually a switch I should really consider now, because it seems like they're doing a whole lot of cool stuff in the Windows world. And literally a few hours later, Asus hit me up and they were like, hey, can we sponsor you with one of our new computer setups that are designed for creators like you? So here we are. I haven't fully committed to switching yet, but I told them, let me give it a shot. So here she is. What's nice about this is it's not too huge, so it could sit at the corner of your desk and won't take up too much space. And it actually comes with this Wi-Fi antenna, which I actually think might be great because I actually get terrible internet here, because this space used to be a detached garage, and then there's the router of the internet all the way on the opposite end, so it's a good distance away from here. So the MacBook would take forever to upload, and honestly, a lot of times fail because it was that slow. So every time I needed to upload a video, I would have to bring the laptop into the house. One thing that's interesting is it actually requires 2 power outlets. Why? I think it's probably because the computer's so fast that it requires 2. Is that true? Honestly, I have no idea. And let's try to fire her up. Whoa! So I heard the PA90 has an adaptive vent that allows for more airflow during heavy processing. It does come with a mouse and keyboard, but maybe get one with a sideways scroller. I like to use the sideways scrolls to kind of shift left and right through the timeline. Holy crap! My upload speed is way faster than it used to be. So let me try my MacBook real quick. I'm gonna run the same speed test on my MacBook, and oh my God, look at that difference. I can actually upload stuff from my studio now. Just that alone is something that I'm excited about. Now I know I can fix that by getting like a mesh router or one of those Wi-Fi booster signals to try to bring the Wi-Fi closer to here, but now I don't really have to. Now the PA90 does start at $3,000, and this specific version is the slightly upgraded version, which is $3,300. So we got a 3.6 gigahertz Intel i9 9900K. 8 core. Don't know what that means, but my nerdy friends say it's fast, so I believe them. And also I know a graphics card is also very important. This one is rocking the NVIDIA Quadro P4000, and that's actually something I'm excited for because I've heard from everybody that the Quadro is the way to go for video editing. And again, I'd be lying if I told you I knew what all these specs mean. So I'm gonna spend the next few days testing this out, and we'll be back. All right, so now I have a little bit more experience with this PC. I edited a video course primarily on this PC, and it's about 3 hours worth of content. And during the workflow process, I definitely noticed everything being a whole lot snappier. Like every time I click somewhere on the timeline, there's no lag, it just boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna render this project out on both computers, the same exact project, same exact filter, sharpening, color grade, and also all the files are copied onto the internal SSD hard drive and exported to that same SSD. So that shouldn't be a bottleneck there. I am exporting it to just the YouTube recommended HD settings, and let me time this. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, both are off, and this is gonna take a minute, so let's skim forward a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I knew it was fast, but I thought it was gonna be about 30% faster, maybe 50% faster. It's a lot faster. And also I went into the power settings of both and also put them into maximum performance opposed to energy saver. And it looks like the GPU is doing the majority of the work here. It's 93% on the GPU right now and 29% on the CPU. So CPU is not even being maxed out right now. I still don't totally understand the difference between the CPU and GPU, to be honest, but what I've heard is that the CPU has a few cores and they're all really fast, opposed to a GPU which has hundreds and thousands of cores and they're much slower, but sometimes certain tasks do better on the other. And we're almost done on this PC here. Oh, there we go, done. 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And the MacBook's still not even halfway. Looking like it's gonna be over 100% faster. Almost, just waiting for that little window to disappear now. And there, boom, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Wow, so it did it in less than half the time. I'm legitimately impressed right now. But really what bugged me here wasn't so much the full HD stuff. It was really more once I started getting into 4K. You guys probably know that I edit a whole bunch of split screen content to do camera comparisons. And whenever I would do that with high-end cameras, it would kill me to be editing on this computer. But just to really push it to the limit, I split screened it 3 times. And on the right is 5K red footage. And then in the middle is C-Log footage in all I, and again 4K, and on the left is Arri Alexa 4K ProRes file. So I split screened them all, so the computer's working hard to render all those out, and then I put an adjustment layer on top of everything with some sharpening, some vibrance. And this is what's amazing, is that even at full resolution, I can skip around this timeline and it's still fairly responsive. And it is definitely dropping a few frames here and there. It's definitely not super smooth, but it's viewable and I can skip around the timeline and there's not a huge lag. And if that's too slow, I could always drop the resolution to like half or quarter, but this is definitely manageable. I would not even consider keeping it on full resolution on this thing. It just takes so long to skip around the timeline. If I want to cut something out, there's like a half-second delay after every click I do. And a half second might not sound like a lot, but literally just imagine every time you hit the key. It's a half-second delay, half-second delay. It's gonna drive you nuts. You're literally going to be waiting for that little delay more than you are actually gonna be editing. So that's when it really started to drive me nuts. And even all the way down at 8th resolution, there's still quite a bit of lag, and also the picture looks terrible, so it's really hard to judge what you're looking at. But I must say, for a laptop, I am still impressed that it is able to edit this at all. Like, I did do a majority of my edits for my YouTube comparisons all on a laptop, and people tend to be surprised by that. So it can do it, but it's not nearly as pleasant of an experience as doing it with something like this, where you can actually watch it at a pretty good resolution, skip around the timeline, and not wait an eternity for it to load. So this is great. So let's try this again, a little speed test, and I'm just gonna do this at YouTube recommended 4K. So that's just a preset in Adobe Premiere here. So I'm only gonna be rendering out a minute of this split screen, but here we go, and we are starting now. Yeah, and it seems to be pretty similar as last time, about 2 times faster. All right, it's done. 1 minute, 28 seconds. We're about just over halfway on the MacBook. Let's see where it lands. Done. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It was 1 minute and 28 seconds versus 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So it's almost double the length. Now, my guess is that sometimes it uses more of the CPU and sometimes it uses more of the GPU, or the graphics processor. And based on what Adobe Premiere decides to utilize more, the difference might be greater or not as different. But for sure, I think the PC is going to be a big enough difference to where I'm gonna be wanting to use this as much as possible, and only really resort to the laptop if I need it to be portable or go traveling. I'm a simple man. I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. Like, as long as it renders faster and there's less glitches and less dropped frames while I'm editing, I'll be happy, and I can see it at a higher resolution. So this is awesome. Like, my experience, I can say for sure, is definitely smoother now with a faster computer, and also this actually makes a pretty big difference for me. So now that I've had a little bit more time with this, it's been my primary computer for a few weeks now, I'm loving it. That's McDonald's, I can't say that. But after all the projects I've edited with it, I'm definitely happy with the performance I've been getting out of this. This is exactly what I was hoping to get out of a desktop. I know a lot of people like to custom build their PCs and all, but I'm very basic. I just want things to just show up at my doorstep. I plug it in, turns on. I think the biggest thing that I'm loving about having this powerful computer now is that I don't have to wait for the computer to catch up with me, which is something that I often used to feel, and it used to drive me nuts. Now I feel like the opposite. I feel like I'm trying to keep up with this computer. I mean, one example, I shot some footage in 5K with this Red. It was Red raw code in 7:1 compression. I added a little bit of color correction to it, and I also did the Ultra key for the green screen background. That's a lot of stuff going on, and I was able to play that in full res in real time on this computer with only 25% of the frames dropped. So a quarter of the frames get skipped, but other than that, you can play back real time, full res 5K, green screen and color graded Red raw footage. That's really impressive. I tried the same thing on the laptop. It dropped almost 70% of the frames. So it was just like, So the fact that you can stack all those filters and clips on top of already heavy 5K Red raw footage and then still be able to play it back fairly decently was insane to me. So thanks Asus for sending this out to me, and you guys know I try to do a giveaway every time I get a sponsorship. I'm not giving you guys this though. I'm actually gonna use this. But everyone did seem excited about the Insta360 cameras, so this one's the Insta360 Nano, which I guess converts your phone into a 360 camera. Could be cool. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Just leave a comment down below and you'll have a chance to win. Anyways, let's wrap this up and read some comments from my last video, which was about daily vlogging. I tried daily vlogging for a week. I kind of hated it, but this is what it was like. Top comment was from Andrea. Iron Man started as an exoskeleton arm similar to yours. My true identity has been revealed. I am actually Iron Man. They based that character off me when I was a baby. When I found out that Robert Downey Jr. was playing me in the movies, I was like, okay, he doesn't really resemble me much, but I get it. You gotta sell movie tickets. And he's got really nice hair and stuff, so whatever. Casey Neistat visits a $50 million penthouse in the middle of New York City. Potato Jet says, is my life interesting enough? And that's why I can't daily vlog, guys, especially with my broken arm. It feels like my life is as interesting as a grandpa in a retirement home. Inventiva Visual says, Steve, use your rear view mirrors while driving. Oh yeah. You know, yeah, he has backup cameras too. Gavin says, could you end the video by covering the lens? You mean like...